So we finally have more information on migrations, and there is now a pretty good chance that in order to migrate an account, it will cost you something like 200 to 400 US dollars if you are over like 50-60 million power all the way to 100 million power, which is many people by now. So we will go over exactly how this is going to work with migration permits and the tokens, how you can buy them, and how they're going to cost. So for those of you who know Rise of Kingdom, it is going to be basically exactly how Rise of Kingdom works, except that you will now be capped in the amount of permits you can buy per week, as well as you will be able to buy permits with the pack, but it seems like you are going to need 60 and it is the maximum. So you are going to be able to migrate to a new server or a new kingdom once this whole new season of Strife and everything has launched. If you do want to change your kingdom, it will cost you a decent amount of permit. So if you have 10 million power, it will be 1 permit. And if you have 100 million power or more, you will need 60 permit. Now you will be able to buy permits 2 ways. One is a monthly bundle. So a bundle you can buy once a month. And this is meant to be a bundle that includes 60 permit for basically 400 US dollars. That is the maximum of a bundle if you buy every tier of it. And this is going to be how you be able to migrate. That is for $400 if you need all 60 permits. But if you need something like 50 or 40, you're still going to have to buy the full bundle to get most of the ones you need. So it's going to be very expensive to migrate. Otherwise, you can buy 1 permit per week in your Alliance store for 400 Alliance points. So if you come here in the store, it is going to be basically where the merit store is, and here there'll be a permit for 400,000, and it's going to be once a week, which means you'll be able to buy 4 permits a month. And that is going to mean that if you need 60 permit because you're at 90 or 100 million power, well, it will take you basically a year to get the amount of permits that you need. So this is the sheet of kind of how it works in Rise of Kingdom. So for the same basically power minus than 10 million power, it's 1 page required. The credit cost is 600,000. So this is obviously pretty close to Call of Dragons, even though they have said that the cap is going to be 60. So you will be able to migrate with 60 no matter your power. Eventually when you get to 100 million, or if you're at 700 million, it will always be 60. So it's a bit different than Rise of Kingdom where it was 75. But you can see basically kind of how it works in cost. So if you have 1 page is 600,000 credit, basically in this game in Call of Dragon, it would be 1 week. But for example, if you are a 30 million power account, it's 6. And that is something that is going to take you a month and a half to acquire, or spending the equivalent of $35, which is basically buying the first few packs of the monthly bundle. But when you are basically above 50-60 million power is when it becomes pretty crazy. As you can see, it's like 25, 30, 35 of these tokens, which are going to cost you a lot of money. So currently in Rise of Kingdom, the $385 buys you 25 pages. Now it is estimated that in Call of Dragons, it would be the $400 pack basically would be 60. So it's a lot better in terms of money spent. But you can only buy 1 of these packs a month, and still we're talking about hundreds of dollars, which is pretty crazy in order to move server. So this gives you an idea how much it costs people to move in Rise of Kingdom. Obviously, Call of Dragons seems to be a little bit better, but as I said, back in the days, you could save up credit. So for example, if you played certain alliance for years, you would have over 10, 15, 20 million credit costs. I myself have over, I think, 12 million credits saved right now in Call of Dragons, which means that I could buy, you know, something like 20 credits or even more currently with the price that is meant to be 400,000. So the difference is pretty drastic, and it is something that is obviously quite expensive. So we're going to have to really think. You are going to have to choose your server very, very carefully and make sure that you are going to see yourself playing with these players for a long time, because if you do not have hundreds of dollars to spend and your account is higher than 50, 60, 70 million, you will have a very hard time moving. Now, if your account is lower than like 20 or 30 million, it's going to be a lot easier because you'll be able to save up enough tokens in a few months. But, you know, for anyone who needs 40 or 30 something tokens, it's going to take you over a year to save up that many. And it's obviously going to be very long because the game has been out for a year already, and it feels like we've had a dozen games come true. So really interesting set of changes in terms of these tokens. I am not sure what the thought behind it all is, because this will, in my opinion, make a lot of people quit if their server ever has any issue, because you're stuck there and you can't move anymore. But we'll have to see, wait and see how it looks, because it could be hopefully some pleasant surprises in terms of migrations and stuff, or people server getting merged if they die out and stuff like that. There's a lot of solutions that can be implemented, but I just think this is pretty hard for anyone who's not spending a lot of money to continue playing this game for a long time if anything happens in their server. So let me know what you think about this. There's obviously a lot of extra rules that comes into who can migrate. The king has a lot of power deciding who they can let in, amount of powers and stuff like that. But for most people, you don't really have to bother about this. If you want a strength server, it will not be too hard to do so. But if you are a very high powered player with a lot of power, like 100 million plus, it will be something that you'll have to make sure to discuss with the king of the server you want to go into, and they'll have to make sure you can fit into their slot, because there's a certain amount of slot they're allowed. You can't just immigrate 100 players with 100 million power. There's a cap, there's a certain amount that you can't come in and stuff like that. So there's a lot of rules going around this, and these rules will be more clear when the game releases this feature. But this is just a warning for anyone who is low spender or free to play, that first you must start saving this currency, like the one here. Obviously it's not really hard because everything here is pretty pointless other than teleportation, but still this is something you have to save. You will need basically 400,000 a week, so 1.6 million a month, and you do not earn 1.6 million a month when playing this game. So make sure that you are doing all the helps you can do, as well as one true builds. This is one of the best ways to earn the daily point reward and stuff like that. And just make sure that you are going to be in the alliance that you want to be, with leadership that you want to be, because this is going to be the last time that you get to choose and switch server at the end of the season without paying absurd amount of monies. So make sure that you choose wisely, because this is going to decide the future of your game for yourself. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you on my next video.